29 after 11, 3BA's Ballarat today. Morning to you. Well, mesmerising magic and illusions and a bit of escaping, all on the way to Ballarat to the Wendouree Centre for Performing Arts this Sunday night. Magician Luke Blaze joins me in studio. Luke, welcome to Ballarat today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on, Brett.
Great to have you on the show, mate. You're going to do a magic trick on radio in just a moment.
I am, yes.
Things that make you go, But you've come in with great confidence, and you've come in with one of the greatest magician's mustaches I've ever seen too.
Oh, thank you. It's taken a very long time to get it to where it is now.
What do you put in the ends to get it to stick out sideways like that?
It's called Firehouse Wax, so it's a fireproof mustache wax.
Oh, fireproof.
It is. It definitely needs to be fireproof for the show when I do the fire eating.
You eat fire?
I do,
Have you gone mad?
Oh, sometimes.
How dangerous is that?
It can be extremely dangerous if you haven't got the right technique. The fuel that we use is safe, but also it's fuel. So, if it goes into your lungs, it's straight to the emergency ward.
Yeah. Have you been to emergency?
Not for the fire eating just yet, but I have been for other things.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. You've been interested in magic from when you were 8, but just about when you were ready to take your show on the road, the family dog played up.
Yeah, we had an incident at home where I got home and just went out to the backyard to play with the dog, and I don't know what happened. No one knows to this day, but I stepped outside and the dog just switched automatically and jumped up for my jugular, and I protected my throat with my arm as a natural self-defense, and the dog gripped onto my arm with a lockjaw and tore my arm to shreds, my forearm, so I had to get rushed to emergency, and they quickly rushed me in, and, I had to undergo some extensive training to get my movement back in my arm, so I was delayed a little bit there. I haven't, to this day, still haven't got full movement back in my right arm as I do with my left arm, but, I was able to, luckily, still be able to do magic with my hands. Yeah,
I guess being a one-handed magician doesn't really cut it, does it?
No, but it might sell shows, who knows?
You're absolutely right. So how long did your recovery take from the dog attack?
About 6 months. I was in a sling for 6 months, and then I had to I wasn't in the sling for 6 months. I was in the sling for about 2 months, and then I had to obviously go ahead with rehabilitation with the physio to regain not only movement but strength. I couldn't grip anything. My grip was very weak at the time.
Well, we're glad you've recovered, Luke. Your journey into magic, you've been given a helping hand by one of Australia's best as a mentor. You've had Cosentino on your side.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, so back in 2011, I met Cosentino, and that's when I started at the Magic School of Confidence. Fast forward a few years, and Cosentino reached out to my magic school, my teacher, Anthony DeMasi, and he asked, I want to mentor one of your students. Who would you recommend? And my teacher Anthony put me forward, and long and behold, then Cosentino was teaching me the ins and outs, not only for just magic tricks itself, but like the business side, how to get into a theatre, all the logistics side, packing the truck. Magic's not just performing for 90 minutes; it's a full 3 days. We spent 3 days before we even get into the venue, packing the truck and getting everything down here from Melbourne.
What did your parents say when you said to them, "Mum and Dad, I want to be a magician"?
Oh, yeah, look, they were really glad that I said I wanted to be a magician, not a doctor. No, they were very supportive. They have been to this day, and I'm very grateful for them to just be able to follow my dreams and have their passion along with it. Their mum and dad helped at my first show last year. I did Reborn last year in Melbourne, and they were helping backstage. Now they've taken a little bit more of a undercover role, just helping from home or promoting the show. But no, they really are fantastic. Mum she comes to every show that I do. She's my biggest fan. She gets scared with the underwater escape at Reborn. But she knows that the crew have my best interest at heart, and they're ready to go if anything does go wrong in that water tank.
So how dangerous is it in there, in that water tank? I haven't seen your show, but I imagine ankles, wrists tied?
Yeah, so we've got a 800-litre water tank. It's filled to the brim with just tap water from the theatre, so you're looking at about 12, 13 degrees. From there, what we do is I get locked up in leg irons, thumb cuffs, handcuffs, and then a padlock secures the lid into position. From there, I need to escape within a minute and a half. That's my capability of holding my breath underwater.
That's a long time.
It is a very long
When you're
time.
under pressure too.
Exactly. And one thing that I mentioned to people that I talk to after the show is that no matter how many rehearsals I do, there's one thing that you can't rehearse for, and that's the adrenaline. So I'm coming off, 85 minutes of performing high intensity, electrifying choreography, dance numbers. And
so this is right at the end of the
This is right at the end.
You're
it's
on
the
a high.
finale. Yeah, my heart rate's pumping.
Yeah.
I have a heart rate monitor on throughout the whole show to measure it.
Okay.
And I'm sitting at about 95, 100 the whole show.
Yeah.
And then I need to drop that down to about 55, 60 beats per minute before I go under the water. So I do a bit of breath work before I jump in.
Now, we talked about ED and your fire rating, but what about escaping from underwater? Anything ever gone wrong there?
Last year, what had happened was I had dropped my pick that I use. I use like a bobby pin to pick the locks. And when I was on the final padlock, I dropped it and I panicked and unfortunately blacked out inside the water tank. And the crew had to pull me out. And obviously, Mum and Dad being working backstage, they were the ones to pull me out. So, it has gone wrong. Luckily, I did regain consciousness about 4 seconds as they pulled my head above the water level. But ever since then, touch wood, hasn't gone wrong, and my crew are very good, and I rely on them a lot to pull me out if something does go wrong. But it won't be going wrong. It hasn't for the whole tour, and I'm going to finish the tour strong here on Sunday night in Ballarat.
Good on you. Touching the forehead, touching wood. I'm sure it's going to go well. Now, Luke Blaze, magician, you've brought a card trick in today. I just want to be really, really clear that we have no pictures here. This is the wireless, okay?
Absolutely, yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get you to select a card. I've got a deck of cards here, and we've got all the single cards. Now, you can see the cards, but people listening at home or in the car at work know what a deck of cards looks like, right? So in a moment's time, I'm going to get you to call stop. Whenever you call stop, you'll have a look at that card, okay? So let me know when.
Yep. Stop.
Right there.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm going to get you to take a look at that card. Now, before you look at it, I want you to know that this card is going to be a secret. It's going to be your biggest, strongest secret desire. Okay. You don't want to tell anyone.
So I'm not blurting anything out.
No, you
just
don't blurt it out.
Quietly.
Exactly. So take the card quietly. Have a look at it, okay?
Yes.
Have you got it? And I want you to lock that card in your mind, exactly what it looks like, right?
That's locked in. Not much does get locked in, Luke, but that's locked in.
No worries. Now, I want you to confirm that you can visualize what you see. You saw the card, right? Perfect. Brett, have you ever walked into a room and perhaps you walked into the room and you didn't know why exactly you walked in there?
Yeah, just kind of forgotten your purpose.
Yeah, you're like, why did I come in this room in the first place?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to get you to imagine like there's a door frame in front of you.
Okay.
And what you're going to do, in a moment's time, you're going to walk through that door frame.
Yeah.
And when you do that, things might start to become a little uneasy for you, okay?
Uneasy?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. So walk through that door frame right now in your mind.
Yep, through it.
Perfect. And you saw the card that you selected, yes?
Yes, I did.
You definitely saw it.
Absolutely.
And if I was to ask you, was it the Jack of Clubs?
No.
No. Was it something like the Nine of Diamonds?
No.
Okay, great. So you've walked through that door frame now.
Yep.
And I'm going to click my fingers, and that door frame is going to be the exact moment you start to hit amnesia, right? So right now, I want you to describe the suit.
Well, I can't describe the suit.
You can't describe it, can you? No.
No.
I want you to try and explain, just in your mind, the picture cards, you can see the faces of the cards, or the number cards, you can see the number.
Yeah,
try explain.
Well, you can normally see the numbers and the symbols. I could see nothing because...
You can't see anything whatsoever.
No.
And Brett, from this moment forward, when anyone asks you the card that you selected, all you will be able to remember is that there was completely nothing on that card.
That's right, like my mind. It was blank. Remarkable. That is incredible. A card trick on radio, Luke Blaze. You've pulled it off.
I have. I hope I have.
That is great. What can we expect to see at Whoopah on Sunday night?
At the show, we've got grand scale illusions, things like levitations, transformations, teleportations. We have things like fire eating, audience participation. So I get about over 60% of the show is getting people up from their seats and onto the stage. I found that a lot of people, when coming to magic shows, they like to watch, but they also like to be involved. And so one of the routines in the show is everyone from the theatre will be able to perform it from their seats. Everyone does it, and they get to take that part of the show home to keep as well as a souvenir from the show. So that's really been a crowd favourite. And of course, there's the fire eating and the underwater escape as well.
Sounds like a lot of fun. You can get your tickets from wcpa.com.au to see magician Luke Blaze in Ballarat this Sunday night from 7:30. Luke, I know you're good, but can you make my mortgage disappear? Is that possible?
If I could do that, I'd probably have about 10 houses by now.
Great to get to know you, Luke. Thanks for your time on the show.
Thanks for having me on air. Awesome.
Well done, Luke. That was a bit of fun, mate.
Thank you very much.
You did very well.